guys.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi, it's Aaron and Heath and me, Amy. And really, I'm not going to be here much because this is a bonus.
That's not true.
Well, okay. This is a bonus that our listeners have been waiting years for.
Stop sending emails.
Years.
Honestly, stop sending emails. We're doing it.
We get it.
Which is, you two are talking about your love of reality shows and some of your favorite housewives.
And to be clear, no one asked for this, but we don't care.
Well, I think someone, once they find out it exists, they're going to be asking for
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
and
they're gonna
gonna
want
be
more.
all
Yeah,
over
yeah.
it.
Mhm.
Really, what we're doing is recording the discussion that happens before each episode when you guys are talking. Before,
Yeah.
And I just sit
That's
there and like, okay.
We say the most insane things.
But not
people do.
just us. We have a special guest with us
We
today.
do.
Special guest, will you introduce yourself and say who you're related to and what you're doing here and why you're here?
Well, hello. This is a real treat for everyone involved. I am Heath's husband.
Yeah.
And
For now.
Because we,
Current husband.
because we live in a place that developers like to call open concept, if I want to eat, it means I pass through a space where the TV is.
Yeah.
And often there's reality TV playing on that screen.
As they should be.
So-
As they
Should
should
be.
be.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sometimes I get sucked in more than I probably am willing to admit. But this whole episode is an experiment because I don't know what has stuck in my memory. So we'll see. We'll see what I know. I'll pipe in when I can. And here we go.
Yeah. I, for one, am psyched that you're here.
Mhm.
I don't know
Thank
how
you.
Heath feels about this, but I'm psyched.
TBD.
Aaron's psyched.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in. I'm all the way in.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being here, Michael.
Thank you for it's really an honor.
Yeah. So, Aaron, Heath, what are you guys going to talk about?
Well, for this one, we kind of thought maybe we would just break down our top 3 favorite housewives and maybe our top 3 worst. That was a weird way to say that.
Least
but
favorite?
Yeah, least favorite. There's a wide space. I don't know where it's going to end up.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think we have to start with our criteria of what makes a good housewife.
That's a good place to start.
Yeah. Because when I was doing the list, one thing for me that stood out, like I said to you before, is like these aren't necessary. There are housewives that I would like to meet and hang out with.
Right.
Just to see what happens, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Then there are housewives that I think make good TV and should be housewives, but I have no desire to be in their
Correct.
vicinity whatsoever.
They seem like monsters.
They are monsters. They are self-created TV monsters, but they're fantastic TV.
If I had a child and I was trying to get it to do something, I wouldn't say, if you don't do this, the monsters are going to come out from under your bed at night. I'd be like, if you don't do this, Lisa Rinna will show up.
Show up.
No.
He tells me that sometimes. Yeah, he tells me that sometimes.
He
it works.
threatens you with Lisa Rinna?
Mate, sometimes.
That's a tough threat because that's
Yeah.
scary because you don't know what's coming in first, lips
No.
or face.
Right.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's a rough one. Okay, so what would you say is like your criteria for?
I would say one of the things for a real housewife, you have to be able to have an argument and still remain likable and be funny. And there needs to be a certain amount of cleverness there. Like,
Yes.
you need to be intelligent.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, because argument is pretty much 90% of your job.
I think
Right.
you need to be intelligent and clever, or just some of the ones who are just stone dumb. Like sometimes they are funny when they're
Right.
unintentionally funny when they're arguing,
Yeah.
and the stuff that comes out of their faces is just.
But if you're that
Entertaining.
person, if you're brought in to be the dummy that just doesn't know anything, you need to be careful about what arguments you get into.
Correct.
You need to know when you're in over your head and just sit back and be the dummy.
mhm.
Because then you stay likable. I'm still okay with you being there. But when you bring down the tension or bring down the argument, I'm like, well, now you're working against the what the purpose is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, like, right now on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, like, Kathy Hilton kind of serves as that. Like, there'll be
What
lots
the
of tension or whatever.
fuck is
and she'll
going
just sort
on
of
with
float
her?
in. And keep in mind, I don't think Kathy Hilton's dumb by any means. She will
No.
just, there was a fashion show recently on one episode, and it was starting, and she was just on the runway. She did not realize that she was on the runway. She
With
was
a
just-
limp?
Yeah,
Right,
she was saying hi to people and shaking
Yeah.
hands, and they're like, "Hey, Kathy, we're about ready to start." So, like, she had to move out of the way of the first.
Like at one
model.
point, one of the models like had to put their hand on her shoulder because she didn't realize the
Yeah.
model.
It's
was
like if
coming
somebody
by.
was like walking down the aisle right before the bride at a
Right.
wedding. You're like, oh, maybe this isn't the
Maybe
right
sit
time.
down.
But she doesn't really argue. Like she doesn't get sucked into the fray. She has nothing to gain or lose from the show, which makes her
I think
interesting.
she's sneaky behind the scenes.
Maybe.
That's my guess. Yeah, I do, because I think that there's something going on there with Dorit. I think Dorit's getting fed information by Kathy Hilton.
Really?
About Kyle. Yeah.
Oh.
Like during that whole argument where Dorit's like, "You're talking to my husband," because they're getting divorced and Kyle's still texting the husband. And I wanted someone to be like, does anybody want to ask if Kathy's texting Dorit? Because there seems to be this friendship here, and I would want that closed off for my sister, but
Right.
it's just me. I think she's a little sneakier behind the scenes than she wants to portray.
She's eating Cheetos on camera, and I feel like someone who would be willing to eat
true.
Cheetos on camera would maybe not. Maybe isn't that sneaky? I don't know. That could
That's a
be
good point.
That could. I could also see her telling Dorit things, not sneaky on purpose, intentionally.
Just like,
just
maybe that's a better.
conversation,
Yep,
like
yep.
just
I like
saying
that
it.
better.
Yeah.
Yep, I can see that more for her. Yeah.
She's
I
just
mean,
unfiltered.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, she is laying in a bed saying, "I'm going to bed drinking a Red Bull," which
Right.
just seems
She brings a box fan with her
Everywhere.
on vacations,
Yeah,
Everywhere.
she does.
and I think that's wonderful.
You bring a white noise machine.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has he ever texted you? Thought he was texting you, but accidentally just put it on Instagram. Help! I need to get out of here. Michael, get me out of here, because she did that to her husband.
This is a short tangent, but a couple of weeks ago, we were out in Minneapolis with some friends, and we were at a club, at a bar, and one guy texted us. He was like, "Hey, did you guys leave yet?" Because we had gotten separated. And the next morning, we realized that he had punched that into the contacts in his phone. So he created a contact that was misspelled, "Did you guys leave yet?" instead of texting us, which was delightful when we discovered it. It was
confused.
Hilton-esque.
It is Hilton-esque. Yeah. I like that. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good point. I see. For me, I think too, like a top tier housewife. Unfortunately, I think you have to be on there a little longer to make the top
Right.
tier, because I have to
Yeah.
see you have a really good season and I have to see you have a shit season.
Right.
Like you might be going to jail for embezzlement, and I just need to see you play that out and how you handle it before I can determine whether you're a top tier housewife. Because there's some newbies this year that I like, I think have potential.
Sure.
But I can't put you in the top tier
No,
yet.
no.
You're a babe.
Yeah.
And I would say all of the best ones have good phases where they're really great.
Yes.
And then it's either overexposed or it's just too
Yeah.
much. But like
Yeah.
when I think of the ones that I can actually name and that I enjoyed briefly, they come. They have
like he doesn't know what's going
they have
on.
a summit. They have a summit and a peak, and then a swift decline.
Yes. But some of them come back from that decline.
Yeah.
And that can really put you in the top, because those are some tough, some of the shit these women have come back from on screen that would destroy someone's life anywhere else. I mean, just done. You're living Unabomber Woods level. Like, I can't be around people.
I just want to move forward.
Yeah.
Let's just move forward. They
Yeah.
say that all
the
the
time.
Uh-huh.
Asked and answered.
And I mean, part of it too, like, they need to be a little bit ridiculous. Like they need to spend
They are housewives. Like they're all ridiculous.
they need to spend too much money on stuff that doesn't make any sense for
Yes.
people to buy or to own.
I
like
agree.
a recent episode, like Kyle Richards bought her daughter Portia a Porsche for her 16th birthday.
Yeah.
And that's ridiculous.
That's
That is
ridiculous.
absolutely ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Yes.
But it's good housewives stuff.
Yeah. I also think that I like to see it the other way sometimes. This is an example. I don't know if she's going to make it or not. I don't know how I feel about her yet. But Bronwyn from Salt Lake City plans a whole trip, flies everyone there on a private jet, waits until the day of that they're returning home, like an hour before they have to be at the airport, to tell everyone, oh, by the way, I didn't get a private jet the way home. You're all flying coach back. That's almost villainesque in a way that I kind of hope she planned it, because if she did, she has a long future.
Yeah.
But if it was just purely like, oh, I just only had the money to show you this first part, then
I feel like their ridiculousness is most exposed on the trips. That's because when they are out of their natural habitat, when they're out, lots of people lose their mind a little bit on trips, and I think that the producers,
Some of them are not
the
meant to
producers
travel.
know that.
Right, no.
Yeah, they
Well,
are
that's
not meant
that's
to
one of the
travel.
tropes of all reality TV, like Survivor
Yeah.
and Big Brother.
Yeah.
Is you take people out of their comfort zone and
Yes.
out of their element. You
Mhm.
isolate them somewhere else where they have nothing to do but argue with each other.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
like
Uh-huh.
that's it. That's the whole.
And you highlight their need for like certain
Right.
securities and things
Mhm.
that nobody else has, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But that's like that example that you brought up about the flying coach from Palm Springs to Salt Lake City. Like they got so pissed off, and it was great because it's like a 47-minute
47
flight.
Yeah.
Lisa Barlow was literally like, we're going to fly to LA, then we're going to fly back here. And her husband was like, don't you want to get home and see the kids? Like, it's 47 minutes. You can do
Right.
it. She's like, no. There's a layover. And like, she was willing to add 5 hours to her day
Yeah.
to not
Uh-huh.
fly a coach. And I
Uh-huh.
was like, this is a level of absurdity that,
Yeah.
frankly, it's good TV.
It was, and also, I mean, Lisa Barlow's had a lot of problems in Palm Springs, so she lost a $60,000 ring in the airport
Yes.
bathroom.
Which she
Yes.
told us about over and over again.
Okay, so this might be a good transition because she's one of my top 3.
Okay, all right.
Oof.
I hate her.
Defend that. Oh,
I hate her.
defend that choice.
Okay, I will. Because nothing happens on that show without that crazy lady doing something absurd. There is nothing. She is pushing plot all the time. She is the worst producer, but she thinks she's the best. The level of delusion is at some of the highest I have ever seen. And when I say delusion, I just don't mean like this is a character I created for TV. This woman lives this. Like this is her full on life. There's a character like her walking around and thinking that this is normal. Here's my examples because I think that
Okay. All right.
okay. First of all, she's a devout Mormon, but she owns a tequila company.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not afraid to make every dinner served with that tequila.
Yep.
Did you notice their faces when they showed up at that dinner with Tila and Vita? They were like, she said, we got all cocktails made with Vita tequila, my tequila. And they were all like,
For the listeners, you couldn't see Erin's face, but she looked deflated. She
They
looked
were
like she had
just
just
like-
flown coach.
yeah. Which brings me to the next thing. She has absolutely no self-awareness. None whatsoever. No, not a thought enters that woman's head that whatever she does is wrong. Not ever, no chance. Even when you think that might be where she's getting, she just reloads and says something ridiculous that you're like, wow, I really thought you were taking a moment, but really you just were coming up with another one-liner. Her diet consists of Taco Bell, Diet Coke, and Kit Kats, and she's not afraid to share it.
Right.
I've never seen a housewife walk around with so many big gulps in my life. It's an area that was untapped prior to that. I mean, we usually have the housewives that come on and want to seem at first like they're classy and whatever. Here's some one-liners that I think is another thing. You have to say some lines that I have now tried to repeat in my life. My favorite one ever. First one. Hi, baby gorgeous. That's to her own child getting in the car from school.
Yeah.
Hi, baby gorgeous. I'm a mom. I have 4 sons, actually. Never once have I said, hi, baby gorgeous.
I think you should start. You should plan
Yeah,
that.
I should work that in.
Uh-huh.
Someone asked her one time, one Mary Cosby, if she had a pause button. She said, no, I don't. I'm on play all the time. And it's true. It's just true. She is. She never stops. This season brought one of my favorite ever Lisa moments, which had to do with Whitney and some Alibaba jewelry and some maybe not.
Oh, yes.
And she was at a party, and I don't have this kind of gall, but she picked up her phone, dialed someone, said, this is my private detective from LA. Listen, Steve, I need to go the distance on this. And then hung up.
For your
launched an
listeners,
investigation.
Erin held up a phone to her face to really bring that impersonation home.
Acting.
I want to go the distance on this. I don't know what that means, but I want to be able to use it at some point in my life. I want to go the distance.
It can mean
on
whatever
this.
you want. You can make it.
Yeah.
You can make it mean whatever you want.
Yeah.
Claim
Was
it, baby
like
gorgeous.
Was it revealed who she was investigating?
Whitney. Yeah. She did it right in front of the person.
Oh,
she was
Jesus
like, I'm going to
Christ.
prove you're a liar.
Yeah.
That's what the whole thing was. But we called the detective and said, I want to go the distance on this.
God, okay.
What the distance means is unclear. Yeah.
But what is so ludicrous about this situation is the way they got there is someone told Whitney that Lisa Barlow was the one who suggested to them that her jewelry line was all fakes,
Fake.
that she just bought it off Alibaba and repackaged it and just charged
And
it
there's
like
some
3
evidence
times
that
as much.
that might be true.
Yeah.
That's the tough part. There were some photos. There was some receipts.
Yes.
Now, where that falls with Lisa Barlow, did she do it? Absolutely, I believe that. I think the worst of her all the time. But I don't. Going the distance, I just like the idea of someone having enough gall to just pick up the phone. I don't know who she dialed. We have no idea who was on the other. It could have
Right.
been Baby Gorgeous for all we know.
Yeah.
And just, I'm going to go the distance on this. My last one came during this situation we were talking about in Palm Springs, which is I don't carry coach and I don't fly coach.
Oh.
And what I love about that is that, number one, you absolutely have some Coach stuff in your closet. Like, that you protest too much, number one. Number two, I'm pretty sure you're buying and returning your clothes because I don't know how you make your money. Like, let's be honest. I don't know what you're up to. So that's that.
Do you think she wrote that down ahead of time?
Yeah, for sure. Because
Yeah,
they did
and
it. It was in a
practiced it.
confessional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
So it feels like she came up
Yeah.
with it. And
Do you
it was
think
like,
that someone was holding up a cue card in front of her?
No, because I don't think the producers are super kind to her. Like, I don't think they help her out if she's
Alright.
struggling. They're just
Can
like,
you picture if they are helping her out and this is the result?
I mean,
Like, oof.
well, then stop, because I'd love to see how far she goes. Like, that's all I say.
This is her with assistants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the final thing is, I feel like you have to have some iconic moments that, like, I'll always remember. Like,
Right.
if you say Salt Lake City, I'll always remember. One of them was the $60,000 ring that we lost in an airport bathroom and then spent an entire 3-day trip saying my $60,000 ring instead of just my ring.
Mhm.
That one. Also at Palm Springs, the same trip, just absolutely refused to get drag makeup because she wouldn't be seen on TV
Right.
without makeup.
She was weeping.
Weeping.
She was so upset that she was crying because she has glam everywhere. San Tropez, Palm
Yeah.
Springs, wherever she goes.
I fly my glam everywhere, and I flew my glam girl here, and I'm not going to get. And then the producers did her as dirty as possible and got a shot without her makeup on. Best scene I think I've ever seen because she looks like what you would imagine someone that they burned at the stake that looked like a witch. I mean, like if you conjure up and think, oh, this is the old lady they picked out of the village to burn as an example, that's what she looks like without makeup on. Like I understood the deep fear she had once I saw it. Because they are doing some... Those makeup artists should go into like home construction because what they're getting done with a little bit of paint is phenomenal. I'm not saying she's my top one. I'm just saying she
Right.
makes the top 3.
Speaking of, we'll stay in Salt Lake City because my the one I'd like to mention is Miss Mary Cosby. I think she is Housewives gold. She's reality TV gold.
She is. She had a season.
She did. When the first season she was on, when she told Jen Shaw, "You smell like hospital," that's
Best line
top tier
ever.
read. Top tier read. You don't have to swear.
Did you believe it too? Because I kind of believed it. I was like, you do look like you smell like a hospital.
And you can't what do you say back to that? Nope. No, I don't. How dare you? Like, what do you say back?
Nothing sounds
You
right. I
can.
haven't been to the hospital.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying you did. You just smell
Yeah.
like it.
I will say Mary Cosby has prompted quite a few rewinds at our house.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of her taglines one season was, "If you come for me, I'll send Jesus after you," which is again top tier shit.
She's dark too.
I feel like Jesus is just like, I don't know, Mary.
I don't want to fight this one.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight this one. She had some great lines this season. She really came out with some. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially there was a particularly touching scene with her and her son, who was, I think, in his late teens, early 20s, who's going through some addiction stuff. And, I mean, it was a lot of these scenarios that play out on reality shows, specifically the Housewives, are very clearly there's structured to some degree. Like they put the right people in the right places and just see what happens. But this was it was honest and sort of raw and unfiltered, and so it was a really moving conversation. And he got the help that he needed. So.
I liked too at the reunion she mentioned that she talked to him about that beforehand. Like she obviously, like she said, is this a conversation you're willing to have on camera? So that then he was kind of like, yeah, if it helps someone else, like I guess I can. And so I kind of appreciated that as like, because that's a real life moment and it involves one of your kids. And I thought it was kind of nice of her to mention, like, I checked this out before I just like kind of exploited this addiction. Yeah, exactly. Like Meredith.
But it's also great because, again, on the first trip that Salt Lake City took to Palm Springs, she didn't want to go in one of the bars. So she made the guy in the Sprinter van just drive her through the McDonald's drive-thru. And she just drove around, took laps around Palm Springs, ate McDonald's in the back of a Sprinter van because she didn't feel like going to the bar.
And he pointed out several times, he's like, we have been there. Like, that trip would probably take 10 minutes. But this sequence is like 2 hours. They're just driving around in this van for like
when they
hours.
landed at the Palm Springs airport and Lisa Bartle lost her ring, and then from there to the Trixie Motel where they were staying, they had this enormous argument, and that's a 10-minute drive. I have done it. I know where point A and point B is, and you know who's driving that Sprinter van. And I'd like to say this. You know, a Sprinter van hates to see the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City coming. Because those women have done some shit in a Sprinter van.
Sprinter vans are not, and boats. As Kathy Hilton said this season, the boat rides aren't working out.
Nope.
And that's true. Something about them being in international waters just makes them go nuts. And the same with a Sprinter van. I think they think it's untouchable. And it's like, guys, it's a van.
Some of my favorite characters are not housewives, but they are the staff or like the drivers or the waiters and the wait staff.
Yeah.
The facial expressions.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah.
The people Heath, one of his lifelong dreams is to be in a restaurant, like in the background where the housewives lose it and have a big argument. Because sometimes the camera zooms in on them, and the people are just like, we were just eating our pasta, and these.
I mean, can you imagine?
Hellcats came in.
I couldn't. I don't know if I could keep my cool. Like, I don't know if I could just be chill eating and be like,
you could not.
No.
They could sell tickets to that.
I know the answer to that question.
They could sell tickets to that, and people would pay money to go to a restaurant
Pay
and
money
just be
to
in the
go.
background while,
Yeah.
What I also love about the McDonald's thing with Mary Cosby is I don't know if you saw her on Watch What Happens Live, but they brought her out McDonald's.
Yes.
And then she said, I don't eat McDonald's. And they were like, and just stuck with that.
Yeah, the other guest brought the sandwich and was sort of like trying to have fun with it, and Miriam Cosby was not interested in participating in that brand of fun.
No, not in that brand. And you know what? I didn't hate her decision. I don't think it was bad to stay in the Sprinter van in that case.
For 3 hours.
Yeah, why not?
While they're driving around.
While they're driving around eating McDonald's. I mean,
I will say, I know we've both highlighted someone from Salt Lake City, but I will say as a whole, that cast, when those cameras get turned on, they are clocked in. They know the assignment. They are there and they are ready to go.
They don't care either.
Nope.
They'll settle something and 20 minutes later be like, but remember when you said, and the other one will be like, we just said we were done with that. Well, I decided I'm not. You're like, oh my God, it just erupts. They also do the dumbest things on that show, which I think helps. Like, let's have a Girl Scout camp day.
Right?
No.
And it's just them sitting in a park in like March.
In berets.
In Utah. And they're clearly all cold.
Yeah.
And they had to drive an hour to get there. And then they just argue with each other. It's like, can't you just go to someone's house and do that?
You know who's doing work this season? I didn't put her in my top tier, but she did some work on Salt Lake City, was Angie K.
Oh, yeah, she's pretty good.
Body count hair.
Oh, that was,
It
was high body count hair.
High body count hair, yeah.
That means you slept with a lot of people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your hair looks trashy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she said that to Brittany, and then Meredith was like, "You're slut shaming her," and then kicked her out of her bat mitzvah.
Oh, that's right. This was at the bat mitzvah.
Yeah.
That just made it better.
That's another iconic Mary moment, is trying to get into the bat mitzvah.
Yeah.
On the windows on the outside.
Yes, wasn't she knocking on the windows, like tapping on the windows?
She couldn't find the door, so in the middle of this, like 45-year-old woman's bat mitzvah, which is suspect to begin with.
Yeah.
And one of the cast members outside knocked on the windows because she couldn't find the door to get in, and she showed up late.
Yeah, but then they had hired bouncers for the bat mitzvah, right?
Yeah.
Like, didn't they?
Yeah. Not security, because Meredith Marks, how could she not?
Well, okay.
But still, I still think, to me, the highlight of the season was at the final dinner when they played that game, and the game was take out your phone find the worst thing you've texted about somebody else at this table, hand them your phone, and they will read it out loud.
Well, I think
But then they were like, I think this will bond us as sisters.
That's what I was
the way
going to
she
say.
said
What
it.
you're missing is that brilliant piece of writing off the cuff Heather Gay came up with, which was, we have been doing so well and we have such a sisterhood and we overcame so much. And in order to strengthen that bond and continue, just get out your phone and read the worst thing you've ever said about someone. What?
Yeah. I want you to turn to the woman on your right, punch her in the face.
Yeah. I mean, Angie K's boob was out at some point. That's how fast it escalated. Yeah.
Sometimes when it is on at our household, I'm in another room, and you can almost set your clock like, oh, at the 43-minute mark, they're gonna start fighting.
Yes.
Because you hear it. You can just hear the volume. Sometimes I don't hear the words. It's just the wash, the background chorus of yelling. I'm like, oh,
it starts to increase.
They're gonna wrap it up pretty soon.
Can I ask something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
So how often do you actually then sit down and watch it with Heath?
Well, this is a point of contention because like I'll pop through the kitchen to get a little snack, and then I find myself like leaning on the counter, just kind of watching it.
He thinks if he's standing in the kitchen, it doesn't technically count
Yeah.
as watching.
Oh, sure. Yeah. If you're not sitting. Okay. I got you. Yeah.
Does Mike do the same thing?
Yeah. Because he first started out, he loved Real Housewives in New Jersey. So he started watching that. And he tried to like do like a, well, it's like, because it's got a mafia tie. And I was like, it doesn't, but okay. I mean, maybe ostensibly, like they're all in garbage. So yeah,
it's
I
like
guess.
The Sopranos.
Yeah, it's like as close to my, exactly.
Yeah,
But then that's bled over into other ones. Like he won't admit it, but he's a fan of Beverly Hills because of the stuff that happens on there. And he won't admit it, but he can always get into a Potomac fight because they're funny. And then the other one, Salt Lake City, he just full watches. Like he doesn't even pretend he's not watching, but he likes that one.
We should do a bonus of Michael and Mike just talking about
Yeah.
Well, I think my sense is that he is a passive consumer.
Yes, he's
a passive audience, as am I. And so, like, I am aware that I will have seen like most of 8 episodes maybe, and I'll be like, who's who? Like, what are their names? Even though like their names are at the bottom of the screen. Like sometimes they all kind of blur together. And it takes like a real moment for me to identify, oh, that one did this. Like, it's kind of blurry.
Good about hiding that part because like in Beverly Hills at some point he started watching and out of nowhere he was like, is that Lisa Rinna? And I was like, no, we're not doing that today. Like she's been on this show for years. Like, yeah, it's Lisa Rinna. That's the whole point. So he's like kind of like, that's what happened last season too. He was like, is Denise Richards back? And I was like,
Yeah.
Okay.
You each named, I mean, just your one favorite so far.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough when you're talking about Housewives. I'll go with my top. I mean, not top, but it's who I think of right away. So you can imagine I'm very thrilled that she's back because she was gone for a while. And that is one Portia Williams from Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah, she's funny.
She is funny. See, that's where she falls. And she has had the worst trajectory of people I've ever seen. I mean, she's had great seasons, bad seasons. But what I really like about her as a character arc is we started out with this like prim, proper lady who didn't want to say anything because she was married to Cordell Williams and he was apparently very controlling and gross. And so she was like proper all the time. She didn't swear. She didn't say anything. Cut to however many years later, and I mean, I'm pretty sure she owns a strip club at this point. I don't know, but I think that's where it's going. Like, she doesn't care. In between there, she's almost married. I don't think they ever got married, but they were engaged to the hot dog king of Atlanta.
Right, right.
Simon's who she was just married to. Dennis.
Dennis is his name, yeah.
She's had some trips. They had a baby together. And that's one of my favorite iconic scenes is, I know this probably doesn't register with other people when you have a world where people throw fake legs on tables, but this one, I have watched it so many times. When she tells Dennis that she's pregnant on camera by giving him a little pair of shoes and a onesie wrapped in 2 different presents. And when I tell you that this man opens the little shoes and has no fucking idea how to react, he's like, also keep in mind that she's in some sort of, I don't know if it's lingerie, but it's like a very revealing bra and like boxers, briefs, and like a silk robe over it. And it kind of starts like it's going to be sexual, but then she gives him these presents. So he goes from that to baby shoes and then opens a second thing and it's like a little onesie. And then she's like, I'm pregnant. And he's like, there's a full beat. I mean, a full beat where he's like, wow, that's so. And they left it all in. They didn't edit that together, or maybe they did. Maybe the beat was longer, but. And I can't get over that because the delusion to think I'm going to do this on camera in the weirdest way possible and he's going to have the best reaction in the whole world. It's going to be great. Me and the hot dog king riding off into the sunset. And then you have to take a sabbatical for a couple years and come back. Some of her one-liners. You're a slut from the 90s.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's an insult or not, but bye, Ashy. And she just said that multiple times walking across the street. With your injured son and your whole daughter. This is the motherfucking tea I was served by my friend? It's an everyday situation. You know what I mean? This is 265 days a year.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Them titties is age 10s. They social distancing. You ain't Dory, bitch. And my favorite, I'm the princess of Thoughtland of Thoughtlandia.
That hoe over there thought.
Yeah, Thought. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Yep. So, I mean, there's also a scene where she doesn't fully understand the Underground Railroad. This is early on in her career, of which her grandpa was apparently an instrumental part of, or some of her ancestors. And she couldn't figure out. She said something like, "Isn't there a hole where the train has to come out at some point?"
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
And all the other housewives were like, "Stop talking." Like, it was early enough in the housewives world where they were like, "I don't think you want this on air." Like, you could tell they were all uncomfortable. They were like,
Now they'd lean into, they'd be like, what was that?
Yeah.
Come again?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, entertaining, yes. Hilarious, yes. Was she great on Girls Trip? Yes.
Yes.
So she had to be in my top 3. Yeah.
She's a champ.
Yeah. And she's the rare one that I would actually spend time with.
Yeah.
I don't want to be anywhere near Lisa Barlow ever.
No.
But her I would actually spend time with.
My number 2 top housewife is Carol Radziwill from The Real Housewives of New York.
Okay.
She is an author. She's smart. She's probably too smart for this show.
Yeah.
Author of what?
I forget the name. She wrote
A couple different books.
Yeah, a couple different books.
Had she also been a reporter?
Yes,
Oh,
she
wow.
was a
Okay.
reporter.
Yeah, and she was a little surprising that she joined the show because she was sort of not like Jenna Lyons is on Real Housewives of New York now. Like it's surprising that, and she, she's hugely successful in the fashion world. It's just surprising that she would agree to do this because she doesn't need to.
Right.
So that was kind of, and yeah, Carol was just.
Wasn't she married to the cousin of JFK Jr. or
Yes.
something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And her, he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So.
She was sort of an odd, like the odd woman out.
Mm-hmm.
But she also just seemed like a little more grounded. Like
Right.
she was aware of the absurdity around her.
Yes.
But she could also participate a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Didn't she run the marathon?
Yeah, she ran a marathon. Her boyfriend was from Iowa. She was dating
Yes.
someone who was much younger than her.
He was a chef, wasn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's from Iowa. But I think probably the season where her and Bethany kind of had their falling out was it was good TV. I mean, it seemed really hard for them, but yeah, it was good TV for us.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes I appreciate when there's a housewife who's a little bit relatable, who
Right.
seems like a normal person. On Salt Lake City, the blonde one at the beginning, she seemed kind of
Oh, Heather Gay.
fun,
Yeah.
and so I kind of liked her because I was like, oh yeah, like I know people like her. But then she just went off the rails like the rest of them.
Yeah, she needs to sort of do a reset.
She does. She needs a
she's-
pause.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think there's potential there, but it went too far too fast. Yeah.
But in a mix of any franchise, I think it helps to have one person that you can like. It's easier to put yourselves in their shoes.
Yeah.
Carol was sort of like that.
Yeah.
But I like what you pointed out is that she was still willing to get into it. Like she would go a little crazy, just
Right.
wasn't as often. Because like I really liked Crystal Ming. What's her last name?
Crystal Kung Minkoff.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Kong Minkoff. Yeah, from Beverly Hills. Her husband was like the Lion King producer, whatever.
Yeah.
But she was like too normal. Like she was too nice, too kind, like just couldn't get on board. Like she would just be so shocked by them fighting because I don't think she had watched a ton of the show. So she didn't actually fully understand what she was getting into. And I'm like, man, I think you're probably a really nice person outside of this and probably fun to hang out with and stuff. But on this show, you are a drag. Stop talking. We do not want them to not fight about this. Sorry, we don't.
Well, what's interesting about her too is she was the first millennial housewife. She was 15 years younger than everyone else in the cast, so they didn't really. The way she approached an argument or a disagreement was very different than the way some of these other folks did.
Yeah,
because she was in a different class.
It makes me wonder that Saturday Night Live just celebrated their 50th anniversary, where they brought back all of the cast members from different eras. Like, can you picture the 50th anniversary of the Housewives like empire, and they bring back like all these old ladies and the young ones, and just like see what happens? That'd be something.
I don't think you're getting the.
I mean,
they
kind of do that at BravoCon. They bring them all.
Yeah,
there.
That is true.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah,
Do
that's
they
true.
do like a cross show sort of reunions or just individual show reunions?
Just at BravoCon, they'll do like panels. Like they'll put different people from different franchises on panels, but reunions strictly are just that season, that cast. Yeah. And maybe their significant others if it was juicy enough. But okay, my last one. I got to be really clear about this one. I don't care for her at all. I'm pretty sure the devil lives in her. I think we realized this season why, but Sutton Strack is just bringing it on a Housewives level. I mean, that woman is nuts. Her mom is crazy, which I can now see where some of this is coming from now that we met her mom this season. But she's like a half woman, half flamingo. Like, I don't even know what it is. Like, her legs are not big enough to support her. I don't even know how they exist. She's the strangest combination of Southern and also like just MMA fighter. Like, she's always getting into battles that
she zigzags all the time. Sometimes she's very self poised and self-possessed, and then sometimes she's a street fighter. And
she
you're just
is
like, what?
insane. Yeah. And I don't know how you can not love someone who gets Southern drunk all the time on ruby red grapefruit, ocean spray, and just put some vodka in that shit, and she's ready to go all the time. Travels with it. She travels with it. That's one thing. Her mom's name is Reba, and is as fucked up as she is, but is also a therapist.
Yeah, when they drop that little nugget, you're like, huh.
And was she not just so blunt? Garcelle, they go to her home to meet this woman, and Garcelle, another castmate of hers, brings this scarf because they're going to be in her home. She's like, here, I brought you a little something. She opens it, and she's like, oh, that's something.
For your listeners, Erin held up the invisible scarf, sneered at it, and put it back in the invisible box.
Thank you for narrating, Michael.
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was not great, but that's fine. Favorite one-liners of hers. Name them. Name them.
Oh, gosh.
Name them.
Heath deploys that often at me.
As you should.
Yeah, I'm often the recipient of that line in our house.
Okay, so you would be able to talk to Mike because he is as well.
Name them.
Yeah, when he's like, oh, you always do this. Name them. Name them.
Yeah.
She did that to another cast member until that person freaked out and said, would you let me fucking talk?
Yes. Hey, do you think, do you want to get some cereal? Name them.
Name them. Name them. I hope you do it with a good accent, too. I feel like you would be good at that, One that she had this season, which was harsh, but damn if it wasn't funny. Pick on someone whose wallet fits.
Wow.
She was accusing her castmate of not having very much money.
Which she doesn't, I don't think.
No.
No, I'm pretty sure her husband staged a robbery in order to make money to pay off his gambling debt. But what? Jealous of what? Your ugly leather pants?
That was a good line.
That was a good line.
That was
a good line. My favorite iconic moment, though, of Sutton Strack, and there are many. My favorite one is that they go to Vegas to celebrate Crystal's birthday. And Sutton's upstairs getting ready, drinking her ruby red grapefruit. She is pumped. She pulls out a stack of ones out of her bag like this because they're going to go to the Magic Mike show.
Yeah.
And she is ready. She says upstairs, I'm wearing pants in case I get pulled on stage because she thinks her legs are going to be akimbo.
Wow.
Yep. So this is the energy we go into the show with. We get into the Magic Mike show. Things heat up. They bring Crystal up on stage because it's Crystal's birthday.
Yep.
They bring Erica up on stage because she knows some of the dancers because apparently they're going to be backup dancers for whatever fake show she's putting on. Sutton doesn't get picked. So instead of Sutton just being like, oh, bummer, and moving on like, a normal person that isn't a housewife is, she loses her mind, storms out of the theater and says, I quote, I'm on the board of the American Ballet Foundation. I don't do that fucking shit. Because these women were legs akimbo with guys like fake gyrating on them and all these things. And so the American Ballet Foundation would be so upset with her if she sat through that.
Huh. Okay.
It makes me wonder when I saw that if she didn't think cameras were going to go into the actual show. Like if she thought the camera was just going to follow into the show and they weren't going to see it.
That's a good point.
Yeah. But I think she probably was also pissed that they didn't
yeah,
pick her.
it just came across as like kid at a sandbox that's like, oh, well, I'm going to take my toys and go home. Then you didn't pick me. Mm-hmm. And it was that way. But for her to like find, her brain knew she had to justify this. She couldn't just storm out because she didn't get picked. It's the American Ballet Foundation. Right. Would be very upset. I can't run that chance. And Kyle has the gall, frankly, to call her on it in the hallway and say, is it maybe just because you just didn't get picked? That has nothing to do with it. Okay. All right. And
These are the times, Michael, I wish this was a video podcast.
Yeah.
Because Aaron's
very expressive.
Yeah,
or something.
You were even picking up some Sutton accent there.
Yeah, well, because it comes and goes with Sutton. Have you
does.
noticed that? It
does.
comes in and it goes out.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes she has an accent, sometimes she doesn't.
Yeah.
Which, same with
like
Dorit,
Sean
but
Connery.
no one can identify what that one is exactly.
Yeah, I think it changes weekly.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite a trio you have there.
I know, it's a rough group. Again, like I said, I don't know that I would hang out with them, but damn, they are doing their job on TV.
My third one, and I couldn't really think of a third one. I've got lots of people that I think are like maybe just outside of my top three. Like lots of important ones. But
Competing, I like it.
Yeah. I put down Kyle Richards.
I like her too.
Yeah, I think, but I think a lot of that's because of her sisters. Because both of her sisters are good personalities on television too, especially Kathy Hilton, as we talked about before. Mm-hmm. But I think, Kyle is she's been doing this for 15 years, 14 seasons, I think now. They've been doing Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So she understands what her job is. She just doesn't do it every season. I think, you can't, currently her and her husband are separated. And for whatever reason, they've chosen not to get divorced. They've just been separated for like 2 years now. And I think sometimes I wonder about her emotional intelligence and her emotional maturity.
Agreed.
Because I feel like an average person would just be able to say, we haven't got divorced yet because that seems very final. And that's a difficult thing to do. And it's a tough hurdle to get across. But she just won't really explain why. She just won't talk about why they haven't done it yet. And I feel like if you've raised 4 children and you're, in your 50s like her, like you've gotten to the point like you should be able to understand this. I mean, she's got a fucking life coach that comes to her house. That sits there at her house and I don't know why they call him a life coach. He's clearly her therapist, but I don't know why.
I feel like this season 2 was a difficult one for her because unfortunately what you did last season was get all the audience on board that you guys were getting a divorce. The very finale was finding out that you guys were separated. None of us were coming into this season needing any kind of we're seeing you in that. And understandably, that's real, that you are going through an emotional thing. But then now we got Dorit getting divorced in this thing. And I think that's a whole battle we're seeing on screen is Dorit's like, it's my divorce season. You had yours last season. And Kyle's, but I'm still so sad and I can't get past it. Yeah. And they're just butting heads about the fact that they're both getting divorced. I think that's why Kyle had kind of just a down season. She couldn't find... I like her, though. She's funny, too.
I will say the difference between those two scenarios, though, is I think Kyle and her husband actually got married because they liked each other.
I agree.
And stayed that way. I think Dorit and her husband married her because she was young and pretty. And then it was like, God, your personality is shit. I think that's why they got divorced, because she is a really unappealing, unsympathetic person.
She's awful.
Yeah.
That when they walked into that one party and she said to Kyle, "You look comfortable." I was like, Dorit. Come on. Nobody wants this from you. Your fashion choices are very questionable at best.
She said to Sutton recently, well, it's not like you live like the Queen of Sheba. You live on a main road. Like, that was her read.
Yeah.
Someone lives on, I mean, people got to live on main roads, babe. That's how they get to be main.
That's how they get to places. Yeah.
There can't be a main road with no fucking house
And that's
on
a
it.
lot when we were at your 4th of July party and saw the inside of your house and shit is just everywhere because you're maybe getting divorced, maybe not. You're moving out, you're not. And there's just random shoes and a weird plastic ring just strewn about. But you're going to call Sutton out who, I don't know what, what does she get a month? It's like $200,000-$300,000 in spousal support a month from her divorce. Yeah. It's insane. It's an insane amount of money.
And to her credit, I mean, you know, the other castmates that are getting divorced, she's like, you need a lawyer. Don't not get a lawyer, because if they get a lawyer first, things aren't gonna work out for you, and they won't listen to her. And I don't know why.
Even Jennifer Tilly said that at the end. You think that this is Chucky money? Chucky money buys my snacks. This is Simpson money.
Yeah.
I have less to say about these people because I just don't like them. And my top one is Kelly Dodd.
Oh, yeah, she was an idiot.
How'd you ever get it? How'd you ever get it? You didn't bring anything fun.
No. She was just pissed off all the time.
So pissed off. Sloppy. Just a mess. Bad at everything. Not funny. Turned out to be a huge Trump supporter.
Yeah.
Married a Fox News reporter.
Vaccine denier.
Vaccine denier.
Yeah.
Maybe she had good penmanship. Is that why she's on the show?
Maybe. Because she was awful to her daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a cluster from beginning to end. She's like the person that you go to your high school reunion and you're like, you know what would really make my day? Is if this nemesis was just kind of having a hard time. In walks Kelly Dodd. And you're like, that's exactly right. Like on your best day with the right lighting and the right makeup and everything, like, oh, that's an attractive person. But it's never your best day and it's never the right lighting. And it's just always her face. And it was too much. It was way too much.
Would she be burned at the stake?
I don't know.
I think she would be more like melted at the stake.
Yeah.
I'm sure she would like
Alright.
really catch fire. I think
Yeah,
she would just
she's
sort
more of a
Sure.
plastic substance, I think. Yeah.
What city she's from?
Orange County.
She was from Orange
Okay.
County,
Alright.
the OG, the original.
Speaking of Orange County, I would offer up Tamara Judge.
Ooh, controversial pick.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was
Because
kidding.
you like
I hate
her?
No,
No.
I was joking.
I don't know. Like,
She's the worst.
Which is that one?
She is someone who she has helped the producers and editors perfect the trope of her going to a party and saying, "Well, I'm not gonna talk shit about XYZ," and then they cut to 5 minutes before her in the car on the way to the event talking shit about XYZ, and they do that to her about, I don't know, 15, 20 times a season. Like, they do it a lot. Like, she does it a lot.
Also, so much drinking. When we say we're not going to drink and then we're just screaming. I mean, to the point that you're like, it doesn't work this many times an episode.
Right. Yes. And yeah, I mean, she's just atrocious person. She's just mean-spirited and she screams. There's a woman who was probably, and I just as a side thing, I have a hang up about the alcoholic accusations that always come up on Housewives, because you ship these women off to resorts and dinner parties and you just give them all this booze so they get sloppy on camera, and then someone's like, you drink too much, and it's like, yeah, because they're on the show where they're plying you with free alcohol to make good TV. So like, I mean, think of something better. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Especially coming from her. You can't be telling anyone they have an alcohol problem.
Yeah. No, because that was kind of her whole thing last season when she just kept yelling at Shannon that she was an alcoholic. It's like, you're screaming at someone you think they drink too much. You're not trying to help them.
No.
It'd be a different conversation.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And she's also, I mean, she's just mean and shitty, and she says terrible things about people, and she's very clearly trying to stay on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gross, right? When you can see the desperation, I'm doing things because I think this will keep my spot. It's kind of where Dorit is sometimes too. Like, I do something really weird because I think people are going to love it, and you just don't quite understand what the actual formula is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. She at the end of last season, she looked particularly bad. Over the course of the season, she looked like an asshole. So she announced to everybody that she was autistic. And so she didn't know.
After one session.
Yeah.
After one session
So
with
she
the
had a flare up.
therapist.
She had an autistic flare up.
Yeah.
My autism's bad today.
Right. She's been awful. She's been awful on this show for over a decade, and she tried to blame it on something else. And I'm like,
Cool.
okay. Yeah.
That's a toughie.
Mhm.
I don't like her either. Well, I'm going to go to New York, and I'm going to tell you that Kelly Ben Simone should never be mentioned in the world of Housewives. I don't know what that woman was up to. I think she thought it was like a one-person documentary. I don't think she ever understood she was in an ensemble cast of Housewives.
Which one was she?
She ran straight down the middle of a New York street, like an exercise routine running with cars just honking. That was like one of her openers.
She was just running out in the middle of the street.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's like, I love to run. Okay. And that was like all of her.
So do you, but you don't drive.
I know.
Yeah,
I
it'd
know.
be like
Straight.
that's all that he'd ever had to offer. I love to run. Okay. And then that's how she was about everything. She'd be like, this boat is dumb. Facts, I guess. Yeah, you're right. And she kind of went off the rails on a trip. She's clearly not
Scary
meant to
Island.
travel. Yeah, Scary Island. She was a big part of that. I just think as a housewife, you realize early on that you're going to need some supporting cast. Whether they're against you or with you,
Right.
you're going to need some players in your scenes. And she was just absolutely refused. I mean, she would just not engage with anyone solely from the point, I think, that she just thought she was that great that she could carry a show.
Yeah.
And then was surprised to find out that no one wanted her back.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has nothing but bad things to say about her housewives experience, which I have no doubt that there's some parts of it that are terrible. But
Right.
also, it's like wearing a gunpaw shirt and thinking that, you know, you're not going to get a certain type of attention. Like,
My next is you may not remember her. She was only on for one season. Her name was Noella. I don't remember her last name.
yeah, I remember Noella.
Noella?
Yeah.
She lost her mind.
Did you remember when they had gone? I think they'd gone to Colorado, or they were out in the woods somewhere, like Big Bear or something. And she just went out, and there was the camera crew following her, and she just kneeled down out in nature and just.
Yeah.
And just howled. And it's like, bitch, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know there's a camera there. Like, what is this? This is so performative and gross and weird.
It was very weird. Yeah,
And,
she didn't.
Like crying, howling?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because her father, who she was not in her life for most of her life,
Oh no.
had died like
Oh,
the year
okay.
before. And it was like, oh, all right.
Okay.
And the reason, I mean, I know her whole presence on that show was built on a throne of lies because
Yes, it was. She smells like beef and cheese.
yes.
Is that better than hospital? That's better than hospital.
Well,
Well,
throne. I
it
was.
depends on which hospital.
Hospital's
you're at.
better for me because I'm vegan. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
right.
want beef and
That's
cheese.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But her whole storyline for that season was that her husband just up and left her. Like she had no idea he was
Yeah,
gonna leave, right?
yeah.
Like, and he didn't even sign a release because they couldn't show his face on
No.
camera. And I know enough about the Housewives to know if you're getting cast on that show, they come and they film test scenes with you. There's a lot of stuff you have to do before they decide to cast you.
Mm-hmm.
And if her husband had surprise left her, he would have been there when they were filming test scenes, and he would have had to have signed a release.
Yeah.
The fact that they could not show the man's face, like he was a lawyer in Los Angeles or in Southern California, and like they showed his billboard, but they had to blur out his fucking face. They can't even show his billboard.
Yeah.
He did not sign a release. It was not a surprise. The guy left, and you
Yeah.
just use this as your storyline.
And remind me, wasn't their marriage kind of weird anyway? It was like they met. He was married to someone else, wasn't he?
I think he was married to someone else when they first met, and they couldn't get married till that was finalized, and then they moved on to this. She was a shithead.
Yeah, she was. I agree with you. She lasted one season for good reason because nothing stuck.
I think you guys
Everybody-
need like a rating system, like shithead over here to like I don't know what words.
Grand
to-
dame.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I wouldn't get that who calls herself that, but that'd be the stretch. Yeah, that's a good one. I did not care for her at all. What a waste of time.
Yeah.
As if the whole thing isn't
Right. I wasn't going to say it, but yeah. What? She was a waste of time.
The rest of it is TV gold. Michael and I will have no one say any different. There have been some dark times Housewives have got me through.
And you, just to be clear, clear too, you not only love the Housewives, but you love like a show that like recaps the Housewives too. Like
I
you go
have a
hard
podcast
with
that I listen to with Casey Wilson and Danielle Schneider.
Yeah.
And they recap the Housewives, and I listen to it every week because it's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
And they are...
So they have gotten you through.
Yeah.
The comedy of it.
The comedy
also,
of
as
it.
an outsider, I must say some of these plot lines sound like a sitcom. Like
Yeah.
they were written in a sitcom
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something.
It's my favorite. That's my favorite thing. When I am just belly laughing because this makes no sense. That's my favorite thing about Housewives. Like,
Do you like it when you get a sense that the producers like are jumping off screen just about when the cameras roll? Like when their fingerprints are so obvious?
I don't like it when their fingerprints are so obvious, but I like to see. I guess I was thinking more physically. Like I'm thinking of that Salt Lake City. Let's read the worst thing we've ever read, and then somebody's throwing a chair. That producer was on Angie K with the speed of a gazelle.
Yeah,
which tells me that this woman has come unhinged before, and we haven't fully seen it because that producer was in the shot like that, and they don't. They take a while before they break. I mean, they'll let a fight go for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've seen weaves get pulled out on Potomac, like full hair, like in the hand. You know, so. I like that when it feels like they're like, oh no, this is too far. Because there's what's too far on that show. Like I love that they have that line that I don't fully understand. But no, I kind of like it when it feels like they're surprised even. Like in a confessional, they'll ask a follow-up question and be like, but did you think it was weird to do that? And, you know, it'll be like Lisa Barlow sipping on a Diet Coke and be like, what? No.
But you don't mind when there's a situation that is clearly contrived by the producers. Like, hey, and they get one of the women to say, hey, I have an idea. Let's put on our Girl Scout outfits and play games. Like, you don't mind that it's
No, because I think it's so absurd. And the people that you get to be on that show, it's almost believable that they could come up with that idea.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's outside of the realm to think that they work together on that stuff. Because these women, I think...
Because, I mean, to stay on the show, you've got to, like, whoever came up with it, like, let's dress like Girl Scouts and go out to a park somewhere. Like, somebody, if you're a cast member on that show, like, you know you've got to contribute. You've got to come up with ideas, and you've got to, like, most of those events and stuff, like, I don't think producers tell them to do it. They're just, you know, you need to have stuff that draws everybody together to create the opportunity to have an argument.
Some of the themed dinners are
Well, I think that's the part that I do like. There's an Easter egg part of producing where it's really interesting to see who gets the final cast trip, who's the host of it, because that's decided, I think, by producers. Like you're hosting the trip, and I think that's interesting because it tells you a little bit about the season or how producers feel about that person or where the drama kind of is. And I like some of that stuff. You can kind of see their fingerprints. Like, oh, it's really interesting, like that you got the last trip of the year.
I mean, I think part of it too is like who is on good terms with everybody, because it doesn't make any sense if, you know, Kyle Richards is at Dorit's throat, but Kyle Richards is hosting a girls trip and invites Dorit.
Yes,
you know, it doesn't make any sense
they have to kind of figure. Like a good example of what I'm talking about is the end of Potomac this year. Stacy was a new cast member who gave us a lot of weirdness. We're not sure where to fall out on her. There were times that I thought she could be good, and then there's times I was like, I don't want to see her again. And she ended up with the last party. Like she hosted the last party. That was the finale. Like it's over for the season. And something about that told me producers see something in her too, like she's coming back, because you wouldn't give her the last party if she was just done.
Is she the one who had like hired someone to be her friend or something, like on camera?
Yeah, the guy that like they were supposedly in a Christian relationship, but like he took it real weird, and she'd be like, "How scale of 1 to 10, how attracted are you to me?" And he went, on camera, like devastating on camera. He planned a date night for her, and this is Housewives, okay? Housewives planned a date for her, which was putting in frozen pizza, adding some extra cheese to it while he was in a chef hat, and putting like it looked like Kool-Aid jammers in a wine glass. Like they were drinking some sort of like Kool-Aid-ish type drink and frozen pizza, and this was a date night because he was wearing a chef's hat. And she was aware enough to know this isn't working and said, "You might want to take off the chef hat." And he said, "No." And I was like, I don't know what's going on here, but it's not working. I don't know what kind of break he wants, but he's not getting it.
But she's the one right at the reunion where it came out, and Andy was like, "So how are you feeling about all that? That it turns out, you know, this wasn't a real thing." And she's like, "Well, I feel like I lost my best friend." and still I rise. Because she's quoting Maya Angelou now. And the rest of the cast just starts busting out laughing. And they're like, leave Maya Angelou alone.
She doesn't want anything to do with
No,
this.
she doesn't want anything to do. And the only person that I want to ever hear say, and I rise, is Luann in that deep voice. But still I rise. Okay, Luann.
Oh, so dumb.
It's so dumb. Okay, so my last one. This is a toughie because I think she's sort of probably somewhat of a normal person. I don't want to hang out with her either, but Robin Dixon, we spent too much time with you.
Yeah.
The Green Dye Bandit thing was kind of funny, but then we never really went anywhere with it. She's super private for no good reason. The main reason is because your husband cheats on you all the time. Well, you weren't even married, and then you were married, then you got divorced, then you were just living together for the kids, but you were still dating because he'd get weird if you went on dates, and then you got remarried, and then he immediately cheated on you publicly.
Right.
But you backed him and said that was not what happened.
Right.
You're not rich.
I followed all of that.
Yeah.
Yep, got it.
Not fabulous. None of it. And she always seems surprised that everyone understands this about her. Like, you're not giving me any looks. You're not showing up anywhere with anything fun. And you seem surprised that we don't all just love you. When you're like when someone says, here, have a cookie, and they give you a Fig Newton. Like, that's fine. But that's not what I had in mind when you said cookie. And that's what she's the human equivalent of. Like, it's okay. It's palatable, but it's not my top choice. And you're using too much space. Too much space.
Yep.
Yeah.
My last one, again, was just a one-season person, but I really, really didn't like her, and it was Diana Jenkins from Beverly Hills.
I almost put her.
She seems like a legitimately bad person.
I hate her too.
She was, I mean, she sucked. She really sucked.
She did.
Probably hired some bots online to say racist stuff to one of her castmates' kids.
Ourselves, yeah.
Yeah, she
What?
probably did that. She was pretty bad.
Yeah.
She didn't need to be on the show. She's very, very, very wealthy. I think the only reason she maybe was on the show is because her husband, who is like 20 years younger than her, wanted to be a singer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it was kind of a showcase, a chance to sort of get him, some eyes on him.
Which you can't mention that without mentioning the Kathy Hilton Christmas party in which he was to debut this voice and sing a song, which I think Diana Jenkins was pumped about. And Erica Jane was too trash to let him have the light by his own and started singing over him.
Yes. Loudly.
And it was like, fall on your knees. Like, it was like a deep Christmas carol.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's not even a Fig Newton.
That's a
No.
piece of fruit cake.
She had something about a medical thing that was going on, and like,
Yeah,
and I think she told Sutton she was soulless or something like that.
she did.
Soulless?
Yeah. And in a real, like, offhanded way. She was
Yeah.
just like, you're soulless.
And
And then
she
just
did-
moved on.
They were on a trip. I think they were in Aspen, and they were all in the living room of this Airbnb they rented, and
that's
she just
right.
like looked Sutton straight in the eye and called her the C word, and just was just like, you're a cunt.
Yeah.
And
Do they blur out profanity and stuff like that? Or
when
do
it
they
airs
let
on
it go?
Bravo,
Okay.
they do.
Yeah.
When it airs on Peacock,
They don't.
They don't.
Yeah. Which is great. The
Yeah, that's
addition of
great.
Peacock has been terrific.
Okay.
Because, and what's funny about that is that she said that on a franchise where they had completely eliminated like any kind of hurtful thing around the word cunt, because Erica Jane wore a necklace that said cunt for the first like 3 seasons.
Okay.
Right.
Because she was just like, I don't care, call me it.
Yeah.
And so they had sort of taken away the power, but then still in that moment for it to be so like just deadpan, you're a cunt.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, normally we like escalate and fight first before someone
Right,
like
yeah.
throws out that, but we didn't. We skipped that part.
And then she didn't even show up for the reunion.
That was some bullshit.
She claimed
Yeah.
that she didn't feel well, so
Yeah.
they had her on Zoom or something.
And then she just
talked-
stopped, right? She just exited, like got off the Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was not
She
good.
didn't get the assignment, and she did not fulfill it.
No, not even a little bit. I can't even. I sometimes wonder what that pitch meeting looked like with someone like her. Like, we're telling you what the show is. You can watch as many seasons as you want anywhere, and you still don't fully understand what you're walking into. Is sort of mind-boggling.
That's
to
the
me.
same way I feel when I watch RuPaul's Drag Race and there's a sewing challenge and contestants are like, I've never sewn anything in my life. And it's like, this show has been on for 17 seasons.
Yes.
You know there's going to be a
Get
sewing
there.
challenge. Just figure out how to run a sewing machine.
Yeah.
Just try out a little bit.
It's like showing up to Jeopardy and being like, I know no geography. None. Never going to get one of those questions right. I mean, you're screwed. You just lost. You got third place.
Michael, do you have a takeaway from this discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
So many. I would not be sad if the whole Housewives empire just evaporated.
What?
Uh-oh.
How dare you?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't miss it. But
Goodbye.
You wouldn't miss it.
I would not miss it.
Down here.
But
Wow.
I do think it's interesting.
We didn't vet our guests very well, did we?
We did not.
I think this is a divorce talk.
No, I think it's interesting that smart people I know and love can find interesting things to talk about it. Like there's so many layers that I don't get the layers, but it's interesting that
They wouldn't miss you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Fine. I just want to move forward.
I thought you were going to lean forward and be like, you're a cunt.
No, it's not my flavor, but there's a lot. There's a lot there
because you
Yeah,
held your own in this discussion.
Yes, I know some of the characters you're talking about. I know some of the moments.
I mean, you asked me to defend a choice.
I did.
So you have feelings.
Yeah.
I do. I do have feelings about it. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I guess I'm sometimes overwhelmed by the volume. Like there are so many franchises.
Yes,
and to me, it does seem a little formulaic. Like from one city to the next, there's sort of similar characters. And by now there are so many seasons that I think it's kind of interesting that they can still like keep spinning, spinning new ways to slice and dice it in a way that makes people interested.
I think fundamentally, truly to enjoy Housewives on a like really deep level, you have to like really understand that people are fucking nuts.
Yep.
Like at their core. And even without a producer producing, some of these people would do those things. Like, do I think Aviva would throw her leg on a table in a heated argument?
Yeah.
No doubt, whether or not there was
Yeah,
a camera
right.
there. You know,
Yes.
like there are things that they do that I think they would do at a PTO meeting and not think anything about it. And that's somehow comforting.
Yeah,
Really?
it's
how do you get to that step?
Because even with money and all these things, fame, whatever, at the basis, human beings are human beings.
Yeah.
And no matter if you're here, if you're there, if you're in the South, if you're, wherever, you're going to get some level of crazy.
Sure.
Do you think it's also showing that money just turns people weird, or were they weird and then just got money?
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think it's proportional. I feel like these people would have been weird anyway, but now they've got money, so they can be weirder and bigger and more noticeable ways.
I also think it depends on how and when they got their money. Because if you take someone like Kyle Richards, I wouldn't say she's as impulsive or weird, but she's had money since she was little. Like she would be like more in the category of old money, where that's never been a concern. So there are parts of her personality that are quirky. There are things that she does that I think are probably very much related to having wealth and thinking that's normal. But she isn't as like impulsive as some of the other ones that I think get money and then are like, I'm going to do this thing where I make one whole wall of diamonds and my name's in the middle with lights. And you're like, that's, and you find out it costs $200,000. You're like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
You don't have that, that kind of thing.
For me, and maybe I realize I'm sounding fickle. The parts to me that are interesting about it are like deciding what is real and what is produced or what is like manipulated by the show. I also wonder like why people are willing to have such personal parts of their lives like on camera. And like once you sign up, like I think they know what they were getting into.
At this point, if you sign up to be on the show, and the people that come on now, they're like, I've never watched this show in my life. It's like, well, you're just not prepared.
Yeah, you're just not doing the work.
Well, you guys have talked multiple times about like the effect of being self-aware, of like knowing the show and knowing what's expected. And you think like it's kind of been ramped up since then, or like they come ready to play?
I think sometimes. I think you do get newbies that come in and are like, I'm going to be the most extra, or start the most fights. It's like, you don't need that either. You just need to be prepared that something super weird is going to be called out about you at some point that you would never have guessed. But I think also, we talked a lot about this on Broads and Books, about the idea, like, there's a lot of stuff in book culture about literary fiction and whether this book is worth it. And you read this book, oh, you read John Grisham, or you read, whatever, 50 Shades of Grey, and that's not as good or elevated as, Octavia Butler. Yeah, sure. All of those things are true. But also, if that's something they get enjoyment from in their time and they enjoy it. Like we always said, reading's reading, like do it, enjoy it, love it. And that's sort of where I got to with the Housewives, whereas I always did kind of feel almost this like guilty thing about it. Like I shouldn't be watching this. Like this isn't helping me in any way. But then I've kind of like gave way to the fact that no, what it's helping me is just take a break from all the other stuff.
Yeah.
I can just laugh. I don't have to think. It's, you know, they're always doing something crazy no matter what's going on. I mean, wildfires, the whole country's on fire, you know.
They rarely talk about politics.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it doesn't come up, which is nice. Like, that's okay, too.
Can you imagine if they did? If there was like a political panel where the Housewives were like weighing in on CNN.
Oh, you'd have to really not like them anymore because I think you got a big group of Trumpers in there.
Yeah, it depends. I think it varies from one city to the next.
I agree, but, yeah. I think you're probably right about that. Yeah. What's your favorite franchise of all time? Like, what one is it? It's coming on, and you're like, I'm pumped.
I think Beverly Hills is the one I look forward to the most.
Yeah.
Partly because they have sort of next level money. So when they go on trips, like one thing that I legitimately do like about the Housewives is when they go on trips. Like I'm glued to the parts before they when they arrive,
right.
And there's like a quick scene of the city, and then like you see the hotels and their food, and then they start fighting, and that's when I check out a little bit. But like those Beverly Hills,
they go on some trips. And the places they stay are cool. I agree with that. Yeah,
and it makes some of the other franchises pale in comparison. Like when Salt Lake City people go to
they went to Milwaukee.
Colorado Springs,
Palm Springs,
and you're just like,
and Milwaukee.
That was pretty great though when they went to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
They went to the Bobblehead Museum in Milwaukee. I was like, you gals, this is hilarious.
When they
yeah, for sure.
It fit the franchise for sure because they're all game still. They do it. Where if you told the Beverly Hills ladies they're going to Milwaukee, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm booked that week. Not doing that."
Yeah.
But they have to go to like great places. Yeah, that is fun.
But I think that's part of what appeals to these people to go on it too. Is it's seen as a status thing. Like you're on the Real Housewives, and that means you've made it, and people want to be you.
Yeah.
And I mean that's not real all the time, but I think that's what they think.
It's a whole level of fame that's unlike anything else. Like even other reality shows, I don't think they can compete with that, right? Like, no. And you hear people, like I've heard celebrities like Jennifer Lawrence or other people talk about who they would get, sort of excited about, and it's always Housewives. Like it's, it's this whole level of fame that's so different from.
Yeah. And it's weird now that we're in a world where there's some crossover stuff, like we're seeing them on Traders, we're seeing them in other situations, and you're like, this is interesting to take them out of.
Yeah, because up until probably, 5-6 years ago, they wouldn't even acknowledge they were on a TV show. Like they would never, during actual filming, like show a cameraman or look at the cameraman or anything. They never talked about the reunion that they all went to talk about stuff. And they have since kind of broken the fourth wall and a lot more.
And as that's gotten bigger, the culture around it's gotten bigger, right? Like there's the Watch What Happens show. They do an after show now. So like there's all sorts of little dramas playing out in all these situations too. Because anytime you give one of them a mic, someone's going to say something that pisses somebody else off. Yep. Like we're always dealing with drama from BravoCon on one of this, you said this at BravoCon, and it comes up 15 times that season. Yeah. So it's interesting to see all of that like expand.
I would like to sit down with the producers like over the decade and just talk with them, like talk about how they just kept figuring things out or like kept tweaking things, or I think the producers have some really interesting stories. And they probably maybe I don't know, have they told them yet? Is there like a producer's book yet? Or I read
a book called Not All Diamonds and Rose.
Yes, I read that too.
It's sort of an oral history of it. And what's interesting, most of the cities were not like when they started like the Real Housewives of New Jersey. It wasn't Real Housewives. They were just doing a reality show about people who, live in New Jersey. And they got partway through filming. They're like, okay, yeah, this is the Real Housewives. This is just basically, and they did that like they did it in Dallas. It was supposed to be centered around charity events. And that's, all of these cities, these women who were cast in the first season of the Real Housewives of Miami didn't know they were going to be Real Housewives. They thought they were on a different show, and then it got done and they packaged it up and they're like, okay, yeah, now it's the Real Housewives. So, and that wasn't, according to the book, they weren't tricking them. They really didn't know until they were making the show that it was going to be turn into a Real Housewives thing.
Well, my takeaways are two things. One, this was entertaining as hell. Even though I knew absolutely nothing about anybody. Which then leads me to 2. I got some ideas for next ones for you guys.
Ooh.
Top trips,
Oh.
top events, top products sold or created by those folks. Maybe top cities, but also top spouses / boyfriends.
Oh, that's going to be a toughie.
Yeah.
Because they all suck. But no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
All that to say, I hope you enjoy this because I want to keep doing this for our listeners.
Oh, yeah.
And Michael, you're welcome to join as much, although if you're not divorced after this, because,
we'll see if you're
that
back.
was-
If
yep.
you had a real hot take at the end. Real hot take.
Fuzzy Memories is a Broads and Books production. It's hosted by Heath Smith, Aaron Johnston, and Amy Lee Lillard. Big thanks to our supporters on Patreon, especially those at the Make Me Famous level, including Haley Scarpino, Nick Thornton, Daniela Barzalo, Matthew Serback, and Last Name Greatest. Sign up at our Patreon for bonuses and new stuff. And be sure to follow us at Fuzzy Memories Pod on Instagram for clips and highlights. See you next time.